the Group 5's video.
Because you've all done this week's reading, we're sure you understand the differences between bounded and unbounded planning practices.
But just in case you didn't, rational comprehensive planning may give the best or optimum solution in a decision-making process. However, it is not the most realistic approach. There are bounds or limits to rationality, which ultimately make the decision-making process much more complex. We will now show you a video explaining the examples of bounded rationality.
We've included clips from a TED Talk explaining a top-down approach of planning in the South Bronx as a result of Robert Moses. Additionally, just to add more context, our group has had a short problem-solving example of what to do when cockroaches infiltrate the suburbs.
That's because most people with decision-making powers in both the public and the private sector really don't feel as though they're in danger.
In this situation, there is one decision maker. This person works alone, has a well-defined problem, and has all the necessary information needed to find a solution. There are no outside influences, no need to settle for anything less than what the single decision maker perceives to be the optimal solution.
Cockroaches have infested the suburbs. Since I'm the man in charge here, this calls for one thing: Operation Detonation.
In this instance, Eric believes that blowing up the suburbs is the ideal solution to the cockroach problem, and since he is working alone, he believes he is right.
Environmental justice, for those of you who may not be familiar with the term, goes something like this. No community should be saddled with more environmental burdens and less environmental benefits than any other.
This situation presents an environment in which the decision maker begins to feel the pressure of outside influences. In our case, Eric is approached by an influential member of the community he is planning on blowing up. The solution moves from an optimized one to a satisficing one.
As a resident of Pleasantville and a successful businessman, I vote for my house to be saved.
Trevor owns a convenience store.
Fine, this house can stay. The rest, gone.
Sounds good.
In our case, Eric agrees to save Trevor's house, but to move on with the rest of his plan. His solution is no longer one that he believes is optimal, but one that satisfies the situation.
New York State, Robert Moses spearheaded an aggressive highway expansion campaign. One of its primary goals was to make it easier for residents of wealthy communities in Westchester County to go to Manhattan. The South Bronx, which lies in between, did not stand a chance. Residents were often given less than a month's notice before their buildings were razed. 600,000 people were displaced.
The decision-making process gets even more complicated as more players enter the picture. Time is now a big factor in the process. Different people will have different time constraints, and getting together to simply discuss the problem can be an obstacle on its own.
I don't have to leave anymore.
This is a really nice view.
Where is everybody?
Here, Eric and Trevor are at the public meeting waiting for the other participants as they try to simply find the location of the meeting. Once everyone finally gets together, the problems quickly build. Different agencies represented at a meeting will all have very different demands.
Public meetings are the biggest waste of time.
In our meeting, the various representatives are all trying to get their own points across while the moderator is unsuccessful in keeping things on track.
Fortunately, there are many people like me who are striving for solutions that won't compromise the lives of low-income communities of color in the short term and won't destroy us all in the long term.
With so many views in play, it is impossible for all of the members to have an equal influence on the final decision. The members present at a meeting with the least power will have the smallest effect on the outcome.
Erica? She has like 13 cats.
Mr. Lila, Cookie, Lucy, Teddy Bear, Fuzzy Bear, Whiskers, Mittens, Mr. Bigglesworth, Muffin.
She always tries to talk to me, but all I smell is cat urine.
Oh, hey, Trevor. Mr. Wiggles is not going to appreciate this one.
No.
Okay, so my house is the most
Why are you talking about anything else?
Single family.
Just my house.
We know who these people are.
In our meeting, we show an example of the public attempting to voice their opinion, but the decision makers already present at the table don't even give Erica a chance to speak.
The common perception was that only pimps and pushers and prostitutes were from the South Bronx. And if you are told from your earliest days that nothing good is going to come from your community, that is bad and ugly, how could it not reflect on you?